We talk about movies, we talk about games, we talk about anime and other stuff. So thanks for joining us this week. We are Passion for the Geek.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Passion for the Geek. And this week we're back with another installment in our MCU rewatch. This time with the Incredible Hulk. And
Yeah. This movie.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Justin couldn't join us because I guess he likes sleep better.
Yeah, I think having a baby might be affecting his ability to work on the podcast.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that's a fact, but that might be true.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, just to start off with, let's just go down a little bit of the information about this movie. So to start with, it was directed by Louis Leterrier, who was previously known for like the Transporter movies. If you ever saw those,
Yeah, those are. Does that have Jonathan Statham or Jason? God, I always get that wrong.
Yeah.
Jason Statham.
Yeah, Jason.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's already a really good indication of how good this movie is going to be, right?
Yeah, actually, I never saw those. So
I haven't seen them either, but I heard that they're just like it's an action film,
mm-hmm.
and they do them like I think when they were popular, they put them out like one after the other.
Yeah,
So
just one of those like dumb, simple action movies or whatever.
yeah. But I mean, I honestly like Jason Statham a lot, so
Yeah.
I'm sure they're good movies. But I mean, for an MCU movie, that's kind of not a really good resume, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, for this one, they were still kind of collaborating with Universal Pictures.
Oh, okay.
Because they own the rights to it, so
I gotcha.
in a lot of ways, it kind of feels like more like a Universal movie than
Definitely.
MCU. But we'll get into that more later.
All right.
So yeah, what were kind of your initial thoughts leading up to watching the film? Like, did you see it in theaters or?
Yeah, no, I saw this one in theaters. I don't remember much about what I thought or knew about the Hulk back then, but honestly, I liked it better when I watched it initially in the theaters than I did this second time around.
Yeah, same for me, man.
And I think I mean, we'll probably talk about this later, but honestly, I think what it is that after seeing the new MCU movies, that my standards were set so high that when I watched it again, it was just like, this is really bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember watching it back in Okinawa on base.
Yeah,
and then,
same here.
Like right after watching it, I was like, oh, that was pretty good, I guess. And then like there's like a newspaper I read like talking about how like they're building the MCU and like how all these movies are connecting with like Iron Man and stuff. So that like really piqued my interest about this whole thing.
Honestly, I think back in when it was first released, it was probably a lot more influential and everything like that. But definitely, as the universe has grown, its importance has gotten a lot less.
Yeah, especially with like a lot of these characters not carrying over to any of the other films, and then obviously the big recast of Bruce Banner.
Yep. I mean, I remember watching. I think it was in 2005, maybe 2006, even. The older Hulk movie that came out.
Yeah, that came out back in 2003, I think. But
okay, wow, yeah. See, I was a little off, but yeah, that one. I think I haven't seen that one in a really long time, like even longer than I've seen this one. And I think this one is still better.
Yeah, absolutely. That one. I mean, the thing I liked about that one was like it was kind of structured like a comic book. Like all the editing was like made to look like comic book panels and stuff, which was a cool thing.
Yeah,
but,
and it focused more on the actual Hulk, right? Because this one was a lot of Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like I like that, but I think with the Hulk as a character, like you really need to show more of the Hulk because that's what was really exciting.
Yeah, definitely. So do you remember kind of your movie experience in the theaters? Like were there like crowd reactions or anything like that?
I honestly don't remember a lot of it. I mean, this is back in the day when I thought it was dumb for people to cheer during a movie.
Yeah.
So like, I can't remember a lot of crowd reactions during my viewing of it. I mean, it was on base too, so
Yeah.
that kind of skews it a little bit.
Yeah, actually, like a month later, The Dark Knight came out, and that probably
yeah.
that was probably the first movie that I went to at the time that had like big crowd reactions and stuff. So
Yeah. I think I actually might have seen that at the same time as you did. I think we were in the theater at the same time.
oh really?
Yeah, because I think I remember seeing you there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to like what were some of the pros of the movie that stood out to you?
Okay, this is probably for me going to be the toughest part because there wasn't a lot that was really good about it. I thought Tim Roth and Edward Norton, I thought they were the best actors in the movie, honestly.
Yeah.
And I think Tim Roth as a villain, it really came across as like his motives were clear. He just like really wanted a fight,
Mm-hmm.
and that I thought that came across really well. And you could tell that the way he was portraying his character, like he was a veteran. He had fought through so many things, and he just wanted more and more, like more of a challenge.
Yeah.
And it definitely came across with Tim Roth. Edward Norton, I think I just like him as an actor. I don't know if he actually acted well in this movie, but I think it's just because I have a bias towards Edward Norton being really good. You know, Fight Club and things like that. That I kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I thought he was okay. Like, he wasn't bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I pretty much felt the same about like the villains were definitely standouts with Tim Roth,
definitely.
and then William Hurt as General Ross, who of course we see later on in Civil War.
Yes.
As the only character out of this movie that we actually see again.
Yeah.
Yeah, Edward Norton did a pretty good job, I thought.
Yeah, definitely.
Given the kind of weak script.
Yep.
So he kind of did the best with what he had, but probably like a standout for me in the movie was the beginning when he was like on the run in Brazil.
Yeah. No, that whole Brazil scenario was really good. Like him just working as a normal like factory worker and helping out with the technical stuff because he knows that. You know, it was really good.
Yeah, that was a nice insight into like Bruce, like his life after the incident, and just seeing how he's like coping with turning into a green monster. But and then they also did a pretty good job with the origin, just kind of doing a quick 5-minute montage in the beginning, since most people probably already saw that 2003
one. No, I honestly I thought that was really seamless because when I saw this originally in the theaters, I thought that this was a direct sequel to that 2003 one because you know the first one, the 2003 one, was him rampaging and them trying to stop him, and then when I saw this one, I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense because now he's in Brazil and he's hiding.
Right. Yeah, actually, I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool. Like a reboot, like a soft reboot, but sort of a sequel. Like
no. I thought that worked really well. The second thing that I really liked about this movie was, I mean, it was basically all of the parts with the Hulk because I thought those were really well done. Honestly, it started like the first scene with the Hulk was in the factory. And that was pretty cool because you get to see him like just ripping shit up, and being a badass.
And kind of being like almost like a horror monster because he's like hiding in the shadows, and that's kind of what he is really. And the second time you see the Hulk is in that field next to the college. I think it was. I can't remember. I think it was next to a college, but either way, you know, it was him against the military. Yeah. And that's kind of like what they do in the first movie or in the 2003 Incredible Hulk. And anytime he goes up against the military, it's just like, you know, military might versus monster, and like he just kills it every single time. Yeah. Yeah, they even bring the Stark tech with the
Yeah, no, that was
that
awesome.
sound machine or whatever.
Yeah, I love it when they cross over things like that, and
Mm-hmm.
it worked really well here too. The third and final time you see him is in the city scene where he's fighting Tim
Abomination.
Roth's character, yeah, Abomination,
Yeah.
and that was great. Like
Yeah.
just seeing two monsters go at it, it's like very Godzilla, and for me it just worked. I think that was honestly my favorite scene of the movie was where he was fighting Abomination.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and those were my pros of the movie.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say
Yeah.
for pros either, other than like the film was pretty fast paced, and
Sure.
yeah,
Sure.
like you mentioned about the action, like it was actually pretty brutal at times. Like the Hulk would like kick, like drop kick.
Yeah.
Tim Roth's character.
That was
and-
awesome. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was really cool. Like I
I was
said,
like,
all of the
damn.
parts with the Hulk were really good.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like in that Abomination fight, like he's actually like straight up killing people like in the streets, just like
yeah.
chucking,
Oh yeah.
chucking people. I was like, oh, what
You
the?
could definitely see the damage that their fight was doing.
Yeah. So it's
And
definitely
that's
like
cool.
a bit more visceral than the other MCU movies,
Yeah.
which kind of goes back into my point that we mentioned earlier, like how it felt more like a Universal movie or rather than like
Sure,
what we're
yeah.
used to in the MCU.
Yeah, I mean sometimes the MCU movies can feel a little bit like catered towards kids because I mean
Mhm.
sometimes they kind of are, really,
Yeah.
but this one you can definitely tell it had a bit more of a mature audience in mind. But that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, definitely. And then with the like the body horror aspect of it too, like with them transforming and like
Yeah.
their bones like
Yep. They
coming out of their
crack.
bodies
There's a
and
lot
stuff.
of cracking and a lot
Yeah.
of popping sounds. You see, man, I can't remember, Mr. Blue, right? I can't remember his name. Is it Samson? Leonard Samson? Is that him?
No, it was Samuel Stearns who eventually
Samuel
becomes
Stearns,
the leader in the comics.
Yeah. So you see his transformation into the villain,
Mm-hmm.
and like that's just, like seeing that on screen is like, oh man, that's kind of gross.
Yeah, but then like he's never seen again.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully he'll come back. Like, it
Yeah,
would be really cool, honestly.
yeah, I hope so. And then just another quick note is just the after credits scene with Tony
Yeah,
showing up
yeah.
was pretty cool too.
Yep, definitely. Like I said, anytime like there's crossover in the movies, even like nowadays it's expected in
Mhm.
the MCU, but anytime it happens, it's really cool. We'll get here or we'll get to this point, but Doctor Strange was actually one of my favorite MCU movies, and the crossover there at the end is really cool. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just gonna say that, but
All right.
all right.
So moving on to what you didn't like about the movie.
Oh man, what I
Which is
didn't
a
like
lot.
about the movie. Yeah, that's definitely a lot. I know you said you liked William Hurt's General Ross. I liked him at times.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought most of the acting in this movie was really bad. Edward Norton, like I said, I had a bias towards, but there were parts where it was just kind of bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Tim
kind of
Roth-
agree, but I think it's maybe more to do with the script. Just
yeah, no, that's fair.
Just a lot of the
Except-
dialogue just wasn't very well
Yeah.
written, and just like a lot of like cheesy lines. I was like, oh wow, this could have used like a couple more rewrites. Wow, I can't
Yeah,
talk.
rewrites. Yeah. The Japanese getting in the way.
Rewrites.
Rewrites. Oh.
Rewrite.
Yeah. No, but besides Edward Norton and Tim Roth and like you said, William Hurt at times,
Mhm.
the acting was kind of bad. Like Liv
Yeah.
Tyler, I love
Oh,
her as
man.
an actress, but
Yeah.
holy crap, she was not good in this movie.
Yeah, she kind of didn't want to be there. It seemed like.
No, yeah, definitely. And like I think the most emotion, the best acting I saw from her in this movie was that scene when they were in the taxi. Which is like it's such a random scene, but it like I think that was the best acting I'd seen out of Liv Tyler in this movie.
Yeah, yeah. Actually,
That's kinda-
that was a separate point I made. Like that this movie kind of had like very little humor to it.
Yeah,
it was
no,
like
that's
very
fair.
very serious and kind of dark.
Yeah.
which again is very different from the MCU that we know.
Yeah, and like that's not always a bad thing, but I think in this case, it could have used a lot more humor.
Yeah, definitely. And then that, like you're saying, that taxi ride sequence just felt like really out of place. It was really weird. It just like happened out of nowhere, and then that was basically the only comedy in the whole movie.
Yeah, it definitely felt like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they wanted to make the scene where Hulk kicks Tim Roth into a tree funny, but I mean, like that's kind of serious. Like,
yeah. I was like, God damn, like poor guy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the acting, the script, that was all really bad.
Yeah.
I'll say that the cinematography, honestly, it wasn't that bad. I thought it was pretty well done.
Yeah, especially in the Brazil sequence, like
exactly,
we are talking about. Like it kind of felt like a Bourne movie.
Oh sure, yeah, definitely
during that sequence, I think.
And I mean, like all the action sequences were done really well. Like the cinematography was done really well in there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the interactions between the CG Hulk and all of the actors and stuff, I thought that was really well done, really good.
Yeah, but
the script really lets them down.
Yeah, but the CGI, I think, out of the movies we've seen so far, like I think this one hasn't aged.
Oh sure, yeah, that it didn't age very well.
Yeah,
and I think this is just my opinion, but the Hulk, his design in this one was kind of weird because they tried to make him look slimmer. I felt like.
Mm-hmm.
And I know
just to match more of Edward Norton's build, I guess.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess like Lou Ferrigno's Hulk in the TV series was kind of thin, but that's because they made him, they used Lou Ferrigno as the base, and then they just used makeup and stuff for that, right? They didn't really use CGI for that Hulk TV series.
Yeah, actually,
that's why he was thinner.
Yeah. Actually, he makes a quick cameo in this movie too.
Yeah, he makes a cameo in all of the Hulk movies apparently. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's really nice to see them. Like, if they make another Hulk movie, I'd like to see Lou Ferrigno in it, just because it continues a tradition.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I was just gonna say I was gonna move on to the next bullet point we have here, but if you had something, if you had another con to say, then go for it. Because I mean, like.
Yeah. But yeah, just going back to Edward Norton, just in retrospect, like him being recast, like it just kind of makes this film feel like a redheaded stepchild of the franchise, and not just because of that fact, but also like the tone, like we were talking about, and then the look of the film also like feels a bit different, and yeah, that's basically all I have to say, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like it kind of comes back to what we already know about the MCU, because now we have Mark Ruffalo, right, as Bruce Banner. We're used to this look. Actually, Justin told me this. We're used to this look of this new look of the Hulk. So going back and seeing a slimmer Hulk, Edward Norton as Bruce Banner, it's kind of weird. Who knows what it would be like if we had Edward Norton as Bruce Banner now? Like, it probably wouldn't be that bad, honestly, seeing Edward Norton as Bruce Banner, but it just kind of holds up. It doesn't hold up well today, I think, because of that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not really this film's fault. It's more of what has come after it, right?
Yeah, actually, Mark Ruffalo was originally supposed to be Bruce Banner in this movie. That's who the director actually wanted, but like Universal felt like he wasn't a big enough name, so they wanted Edward Norton instead. So
yeah, it's kind of weird though, because I think Mark Ruffalo, I hadn't seen him too often before the Avengers, the first Avengers movie, but I thought he was a good actor.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
But I mean, obviously, he wasn't as big of a name as Edward Norton.
Yeah. And then I guess just one other con was, even though like the final fight was pretty good, and then Abomination, like as a villain, was pretty cool, but just like the point of him being like another kind of villain where he's just like a evil version of the hero.
Yeah. It's kind of cliche. Yeah.
Yeah, which is something that tends to repeat with all these origin movies that
Yeah.
we'll watch later on. But
We'll get there. We'll
Um,
get there.
yeah,
But no, yeah, I totally hear you. Like, but I thought, like I said, I thought it was a pro that it was monster versus monster, like Godzilla kind of. But yeah, obviously that's kind of played out nowadays where you get that self versus self kind of conflict. I get it. Oh man, I had a pro for this, but I can't remember what it was. I was gonna bring it back, but I'll try to remember it and bring it up if I remember. But we can move on for now.
Okay.
Well, I kind of already talked about how well the film holds up today. Do you wanna give your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I kind of went over it already. Just it just feels like really out of place among the other MCU movies. I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's just there's just been way better movies since then. So it was kind of like after such a great start in Iron Man, this seemed like kind of a step back a little bit.
Yeah, totally. And like you said, I can totally see the Universal influence there.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so I remembered my pro,
All right.
and it has a little bit more to do with cinematography, and it's
Okay.
they used a lot of greens, like the green color in their shots. Like there's a lot of the green in the fight scene when Hulk was in the field, right? Because obviously there's a lot of grass. There's a lot of green when he was at the factory. It was just
Right.
it was actually I was like kind of paying attention to it a lot just because the rest of the movie was kind of crappy. And then when Abomination came in, the hues turned more like brown and yellows. No, that was like honestly that was a really really nice touch, and I think you actually do see that in a lot of the MCU movies. I think like I suggest trying to pay attention to how colors are used in each scene as we go on through this MCU. Because I'd bet you that the main colors of our heroes' costumes are gonna match the main colors of each scene, and that's just a cool that's just a cool trick that people use in cinematography. And yeah, I mean that was cool to see. I thought that was a pro. They did well.
Nice.
They did really well.
Yeah, it's cool that you noticed that.
Yeah. All right. So how does it rank compared to the rest of the MC films for us, Elliot?
The first time I watched it, it was probably. I mean, I thought it was pretty decent, of course, and then upon rewatch, I think it fell a couple spots for me.
Sure. Yeah.
So probably maybe second to last in the whole series. Like I'd have to rewatch Thor 2 first because that
Oh man.
for right now that's my bottom. But
I actually haven't seen Thor 2. So, yeah, it's weird because like the bottom two for me right now would be this movie, The Incredible Hulk, and Thor, the first one. I don't have an order for those two right now, but those are my bottom two right now. I don't know. I'm like, hopefully I'll like Thor again, or hopefully I will like it after rewatching it. But the first time I watched it, I was definitely underwhelmed. I didn't watch it in the theaters though, so that might have been the reason why, honestly. But we'll get there. We'll get there. I'll watch it. I just watched Iron Man 2, and this is going to be a spoiler for our next episode, but I liked it a lot better this time around than the first time. So,
dude, me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. So what's kind of your overall thoughts about the Incredible Hulk?
Overall thoughts, it definitely could have been a lot better. Like, I don't, maybe not. Like, maybe the Incredible Hulk just is a character that you can't do much with because he's just so powerful. As a solo film. Yeah, exactly. Because he's just so powerful that you kind of have to have another Hulk fight him in order for it to be a good movie. However, I've heard good things. I haven't seen Thor Ragnarok yet, so like yeah, exactly. Yeah, I feel ashamed about that right now, but
no worries.
Yeah, I think the situation, from what I've seen from trailers and stuff, I think the situation that they put Hulk in there is more interesting than the situations that we have seen Hulk be put in the past, in the previous films where he's on Earth. Honestly, like, it seems like he would have a more interesting story if he was off Earth. And there was an animated film, Planet Hulk, that was great.
Yeah, actually, Ragnarok takes a lot from Planet Hulk, so you'll enjoy it a lot.
Definitely, yeah. So we'll get there. I'll watch the movie eventually. But yeah, they could have done more with it, and I think the writing and acting kind of fell flat.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree with those 2 points for sure. Overall, I guess it was sort of watchable. I mean, it was
sort of watchable.
It was saved by the beginning of the movie was pretty strong.
That
I thought
definitely kept me interested enough to follow through with the rest of the movie, right? Because the opening was so strong. I would say the ending was strong enough to kind of justify sitting through the movie. What is it, like an hour and 15 minutes almost?
Actually, it's actually pretty short.
Yeah, relatively
compared
speaking.
to other movies. So that was a blessing, I guess.
Yeah. So, like, the beginning and the ending kind of helped out, but I mean, like, the ending was really just like 10, 15 minutes long. So, I mean, I didn't enjoy watching it this time, but I did enjoy watching the Hulk kick the shit out of things. So that was cool.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
Yeah, definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
So what score would you give it out of 10?
Out of 10, probably like a 3. Which I was probably gonna be. I hope it's gonna be my lowest score that I give out through this whole podcast, because I try to be unbiased, but I also try not to shit on things. So hopefully this is the lowest score. We'll see while we do this podcast, but I'd give it a 3 because it was kind of shitty.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm a little more lenient. Probably from the first time I watched it, and then there are some positive aspects that I liked about it. So I'd probably just give it like a 6.
That's fair. I mean, like I said, I loved the cinematography. Honestly, like, I thought it was really good. I just think overall it didn't do much for me, I guess. So
yeah, it definitely hasn't held up very well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I'm looking at the notes that you made, Elliot. The cinematography guy was Peter Menzies Jr., and he did Tomb Raider and Shooter. So, I mean, those are 2 films that I actually liked a lot. So.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that might have been where my enjoyment from the film came from, but yeah, there you go.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Incredible Hulk, and
next week.
Hopefully next week we'll be talking about Iron Man 2. So look forward to that.
I mean, we were a little late for this one, so I mean, hopefully we can expect it sooner, but we gotta whip Justin to shape.
Yeah. Hopefully you can join us for that one.
No, I understand having a kid. Having a kid is tough.
Yeah, I don't know anything about childcare.
Yeah,
so,
no, neither do I. So
kudos to him for doing that.
I mean, he's made most of our podcasts so far, and honestly, I think that's a lot to be thankful for.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll try to get him out for the next one.
Yep, hopefully. But in the meantime, you guys have been playing some more Cuphead, so look forward to the next episode of that.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So that concludes our episode, and you can follow us on at our website at p4tg.wordpress.com, and also on Twitter and Instagram at passion4 the geek, and then also our Facebook page. Search Passion for the Geek, and of course you can find our podcasts on YouTube. So yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about the Incredible Hulk, and hopefully see you guys next week.
Yeah, or you can tell us what you thought about any of the MCU movies, because we are going through them all, leading up to Infinity Wars.
Infinity War.
All right, man. So Iron Man 2 is next up, right?
Yep.
Sweet. All right, man. See you guys later.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
See you guys later.